Have you spent much of your life avoiding being alone, perhaps desperately trying to escape the quietness within yourself? Maybe you constantly seek noise, connection, or short-term validation from others as a way to avoid listening to your own thoughts and exploring the less familiar parts of yourself. Society often suggests that strength comes from being part of the crowd, and that happiness depends entirely on how others see you. But what if this is a damaging idea you've accepted? What if the quietness you instinctively avoid, the stillness you might mistake for inactivity, is actually the path to genuine freedom? What if the essential things you seek externally, like purpose, peace, and inner fortitude, can only truly be developed within you, through the process of spending intentional time alone? The modern world constantly draws us toward connection. It demands our constant attention, often leaving us feeling distracted or fragmented. We are often conditioned to believe that being alone means we are lacking, incomplete, or somehow adrift. But this common narrative ignores a fundamental truth, a counterintuitive idea hiding in plain sight. Authentic strength, genuine creativity, and deep self-awareness aren't found despite solitude. They often emerge from choosing it. This isn't an argument for becoming an isolated recluse or rejecting society. It's about making a conscious decision to prioritize self-reflection at times. Turning inward isn't about retreating, it's a way to progress. It involves understanding that chosen solitude isn't an emptiness that needs to be filled by outside sources. Instead, it's a space rich with latent potential, the potential to build resilience, gain clarity amidst the world's chaos, and find liberation from the subtle pressures of needing external validation. Let's question the ingrained fear of being alone and recognize that choosing solitude can be a strategic benefit in navigating life. Consider the relentless, often invisible, pressure to conform. From the moment we draw breath, we begin absorbing the expectations, beliefs, anxieties, and desires of those around us. Society, family, peers, media, they collectively sculpt our understanding of who we should be, what we should want, how we should feel. We learn to build personalities like intricate suits of armor, meticulously crafted to navigate the complex social battlefield, designed for acceptance and advancement. But in doing so, we often lose touch with the authentic core beneath, that innate self buried under layers of adaptation and performance. Have you ever paused after a social interaction and felt a strange emptiness, a sense that the person you just presented wasn't entirely you? Solitude, chosen solitude, acts as a powerful solvent to this lifelong conditioning. In the quiet, stripped bare of the need to perform, impress, or please, the carefully constructed layers begin to peel away, sometimes uncomfortably. The silence isn't empty. It's a high-fidelity mirror reflecting your unvarnished self, your unfiltered thoughts and feelings. It forces the essential, often avoided questions. Is this belief truly mine, or an echo I absorbed? Is this ambition born from my soul, or a script I was handed? Who am I, fundamentally, when no one is watching, judging, or applauding? This deliberate withdrawal is where true authenticity is painstakingly forged, not in the fleeting glow of external validation, but in the courageous, sometimes arduous, act of facing your own inner landscape, unmediated and unfiltered. It's the crucial first step towards reclaiming ownership of your own mind, your own life. Where do truly original ideas, the sparks that shift paradigms and reshape our world, actually come from? Rarely from the echo chamber of consensus, the comfortable hum of agreement, or the endless, numbing stream of recycled opinions circulating online. Genuine creativity, the kind that births disruptive innovation and timeless art, requires space. It demands a conscious departure from the known, a courageous willingness to sit with the unformed, the ambiguous, the uncertain, without rushing to premature conclusions. Solitude provides this sacred, fertile space. When the incessant external noise, the demands, the notifications, the opinions of others finally fades, the subtle internal signal, the whisper of intuition, clarifies and strengthens. Think of Nikola Tesla, envisioning entire systems of alternating currents in the profound quiet of his solitary mind, or Albert Einstein, whose revolutionary theories emerged from deep, solitary thought experiments, or the writer staring into the depths of a blank page, allowing characters and worlds to surface from the vast ocean of the subconscious. You might fervently believe that collaboration and brainstorming are the only engines of significant progress. But while collaboration refines and executes, the initial spark, the truly novel insight, often requires a period of intense, undisturbed, individual gestation. Therefore, embracing solitude allows your mind the freedom to wander beyond established boundaries, to connect seemingly disparate concepts in novel ways, to nurture fragile, unconventional ideas free from the chilling effect of premature judgment or the gravitational pull of existing paradigms. The silence isn't sterile, it's the fertile darkness of the womb, where the seeds of genuine insight can take root, protected and nourished, until they are strong enough to emerge into the light. Life, inevitably, brings its storms, crushing setbacks, painful betrayals, profound losses, the slow erosion of hope. When these tempests hit, how do you respond? The common reflex is to seek solace in distraction, in the comforting noise of company, hoping to numb the pain, borrow strength, or simply forget for a while. But this is often a temporary anesthetic, a borrowed shield that offers little protection when the next storm arrives. True resilience, the deep-rooted strength that allows you to bend without breaking, to feel pain without being destroyed by it, is cultivated internally. It's an inside job. Rhetorical question. Have you ever truly asked yourself why you instinctively fear emotional discomfort, why you rush to escape difficult feelings like grief, fear, or disappointment as if they were dangerous predators? Solitude, deliberately embraced, compels you to sit with that discomfort, not as a punishment, but as an observation. It teaches you to become a meteorologist of your own inner world, observing the shifting emotional weather patterns without being swept away by every gust of wind or flash of lightning. By facing your anxieties, your insecurities, your perceived weaknesses head-on in the quiet, steady company of your own self, you begin to build an unshakable inner foundation, bedrock beneath the shifting sands. You learn, through direct experience, that you are the source of your own stability, that the capacity to endure and integrate hardship resides within you. This isn't about cultivating a cold detachment or becoming unfeeling. It's about developing the profound capacity to feel deeply, authentically, without disintegrating or losing your center. It's the slow, powerful alchemy of transforming fragility into fortitude, vulnerability into strength, one moment of quiet, courageous endurance at a time. Solitude, stillness, strength. These become not just words, but lived realities. Now, let's be brutally honest for a moment. You've been marinated in the belief that relentless ambition is the only path, that climbing the social and professional ladder is the ultimate measure of success. You instinctively believe that being constantly connected, perpetually available, digitally visible, makes you valuable, makes you relevant, makes you liked. The fear of missing out, FOMO, isn't just a catchphrase. It's a constant, low-grade anxiety humming beneath the surface. You fear being forgotten if you step away. You fear the silent judgment that solitude might imply, that you're unwanted, unsuccessful, irrelevant. You've internalized the narrative that happiness is an external destination, a prize reached through the approval and companionship of others, awarded for playing the social game well. Pause. You find yourself measuring your worth by metrics, likes, followers, invitations, the sheer volume of noise and activity surrounding you. You've implicitly accepted the premise that external validation is the ultimate, most reliable currency. But lean in closer, examine that belief. Maybe, just maybe, this relentless outward chase is actively blinding you to where authentic, durable power truly resides. Maybe the fleeting validation you crave from others is a pale, unsatisfying imitation of the deep, unwavering acceptance you can only grant yourself in the quiet court of your own being. Here's the crucial piece often missing from the conversation about external noise. The real, energy-sapping battle isn't just against the distractions out there. The most draining war is waged against the relentless cacophony within. The churning anxieties about the future, the obsessive replays of past failures and embarrassments, the endless, looping what-ifs, This pervasive internal static constantly drains your precious mental energy, clouds your judgment, fractures your focus, and keeps you perpetually reacting to life instead of consciously acting within it. You run frantically from external silence, only to remain hopelessly trapped in deafening internal noise. You run from external silence, only to remain trapped in deafening internal noise. But what happens when you consciously, courageously, stop running? What happens when you deliberately step into the quiet, not away from it? At first, paradoxically, the inner noise might seem to scream even louder, demanding attention like a spoiled child. It's uncomfortable. It's deeply confronting. You might feel overwhelmed. You instinctively think facing this inner chaos makes you vulnerable, exposed, weak. But turning to face it, to simply observe it without judgment, is the ultimate power move. This is the silence edge. It's the critical threshold where you cease being a helpless slave to your racing thoughts and anxieties, and begin to cultivate the role of the calm, detached observer. In that precious space between stimulus and reaction, you gain perspective. You gain clarity. You start to see the recurring patterns, the cognitive distortions, the fear-based narratives for what they are. You distinguish the vital signal from the overwhelming static. You realize, with profound relief, that most of your deepest fears are merely phantoms projected onto the screen of your mind by past conditioning. This isn't passive resignation. It's an active, strategic reclaiming of your mental territory. It's the foundational practice where true strategy begins, not in frantically reacting to the ever-shifting external world, but in mastering your own inner state first. Silence isn't empty. It's devastatingly potent. Pause and ask yourself, how many of your deeply held beliefs, your opinions, your very thoughts, are genuinely your own? We live immersed, often unknowingly, in vast oceans of narratives, political, cultural, social, familial, meticulously crafted or unconsciously transmitted, designed to influence, direct, and often control. Groupthink, the comfort of shared consensus, is deeply seductive. It offers the warmth of belonging, often at the silent cost of authentic individuality and critical thought. Solitude acts as a vital deprogramming chamber, a space to critically examine the mental software you're running. And therefore, you might reasonably believe that engaging with diverse opinions and developing a nuanced worldview requires constant social interaction and debate. But while exposure to different views is crucial, true critical thinking, the ability to dissect arguments and form independent judgments, often necessitates stepping away from the immediate, often overwhelming, influence and emotional charge of the group. Therefore, solitude allows you the mental breathing room to dismantle inherited beliefs piece by piece, to courageously question societal conditioning you've never before examined, to evaluate information objectively without the distorting pressure of immediate consensus or the fear of dissent. It facilitates a fundamental shift in your mindset, from passively reactive, absorbing, internalizing, and repeating information, to consciously proactive, analyzing, synthesizing, questioning, and ultimately forming your own well-reasoned conclusions. This is the path to intellectual sovereignty. It's developing the ability to navigate the complex, often deceptive, information landscape with clarity, discernment, and independence, building your unique worldview brick by deliberate, conscious brick, rather than simply inhabiting a prefabricated structure built by others. Perhaps the deepest, most primal fear driving the frantic flight from solitude is the terrifying suspicion that we might not be enough, fundamentally, on our own. We are taught, subtly and overtly, to seek completion in others, to hunt for validation of our very existence in external sources. We often treat relationships, jobs, or social statuses like life rafts, clinging desperately to them to avoid confronting the perceived abyss of our own inadequacy or imperfection. Intensity rises again, becoming profound. But here's the revolutionary twist. The highest, most liberating realization on this journey isn't what you might expect. You don't need anyone or anything external to be whole. You already are. Embracing solitude, truly embracing it, becomes the ultimate, radical act of self-acceptance. It's the practice of looking squarely at your flaws, your messy history, your unique, beautiful complexities, your light and your shadow, and saying with quiet conviction, "This is me. All of it. And I am enough, right now." It's the profound realization that your intrinsic worth is inherent, unconditional, not something earned or granted by external approval, achievement, or partnership. This cultivation of internal abundance, this sense of being complete within oneself, paradoxically, is the very foundation upon which truly healthy, fulfilling connections are built. When you don't need others to fill a void or validate your existence, you can engage with them from a place of genuine wholeness, generosity, interdependence, and freedom, not from a place of anxious, grasping lack. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's the profound relief of homecoming. Understand this. You are engaged in an invisible war every single day of your life. It's not a war fought with weapons on a battlefield, but a subtle, pervasive war against dependency, emotional dependency, intellectual dependency, psychological dependency. Modern society, in many ways, profits immensely from your insecurity. Industries thrive on manufacturing and then selling solutions to your perceived lack. Systems are often built, consciously or unconsciously, to keep you looking outward, for answers, for validation, for worthiness, for simple permission to be authentically yourself. You chase fleeting external approval and remain an unwitting prisoner in a gilded cage. You cultivate deep internal validation and step into radical freedom. You desperately seek connection out of fear and scarcity, and find only fragile, conditional bonds. You embrace solitude from a place of strength and abundance, and forge connections that are authentic, resilient, and truly nourishing. Think again of Miyamoto Musashi, the peerless samurai, who famously retreated into the Ragand cave. He went there not merely to escape the world or practice swordsmanship in isolation, but to engage in profound introspection, to distill his life's wisdom. His Doct, The Path of Aloneness, and the Book of Five Rings, timeless masterpieces of strategy and self-mastery, were born from this intense communion with himself, far from the demands and distractions of the world. Musashi understood a fundamental principle: mastery over the external world, whether in combat or in life, begins with uncompromising mastery over the internal self. He didn't reject the world. He learned to engage with it on his own terms, from a place of unshakable inner grounding, utterly free from the intoxicating need for applause or the paralyzing fear of disapproval. This is the invisible war, the constant, moment-by-moment fight for your own autonomy, your own inner authority. Solitude, freedom, power. Winning this war doesn't mean permanent isolation. It means gaining the power to choose connection consciously, to engage with the world from a place of centered strength, not desperate need. It means becoming the undisputed, sovereign ruler of your own inner kingdom. So, what does this profound understanding mean for you, right now, in the midst of your busy, demanding life? It means fundamentally reframing your perception. It means recognizing that the familiar discomfort you feel when silence descends isn't a signal of weakness or failure, but rather a powerful, persistent invitation. An invitation to finally meet yourself, fully, perhaps for the very first time, without filters or intermediaries. It means internalizing the truth that solitude is not the aching absence of something external, but the empowering presence of everything you truly need already residing within yourself. The practical application? It doesn't require drastic upheaval. Start small, but start consistently. Dedicate just 30 minutes today. Find a space where you can be truly undisturbed. No phone, no music, no books, no tasks, no distractions. Just you, your breath, and the landscape of your thoughts and feelings. Don't try to fix, fight, or judge what arises. Simply practice observing with gentle curiosity, like watching clouds drift across the sky. Witness the inner chatter, the fleeting emotions, the deeper currents beneath. This isn't about achieving some mythical state of instant enlightenment. It's about patiently, persistently building the crucial muscle of self-awareness, of self-compassion, of self-acceptance. It's about consciously reclaiming your time, your focus, your energy, your very self from the relentless demands of the external world. The silence you once instinctively feared can, with practice, transform into your most trusted sanctuary, your wisest strategic advisor, the deep, renewable wellspring of your greatest strength, clarity, and creativity. That elusive freedom, that sense of wholeness you've been chasing so desperately in the noise and rush of the world, it wasn't out there at all. It was waiting patiently for you in the quiet all along. So next time you feel that familiar pull, that urge to run from the silence, to fill the space with noise, pause. Remember this conversation. Remember, solitude isn't the enemy. Unexamined dependency is. True, lasting power lies in cultivating your ability to be fully, comfortably, powerfully present with yourself. What specific belief about yourself, or about the necessity of constant connection, have you started to question recently, perhaps after spending even a brief time intentionally alone? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Let's build a community exploring this path together. If this exploration resonated with you, subscribe for more deep dives into strategy, philosophy, and the practical art of mastering your own mind. Embrace the silence. Discover your strength. Find your freedom.